All right, this is my try and make it a quick prep video for my review of Blonde by Joyce Carol Oates, a 2000 novel. It's 23 years old, made long enough that it's been made into, I think it's been adapted maybe more than once. That would be a good thing to check. Uh, yes, adapted into Netflix movie and other. Question? I haven't seen either. Maybe I should put that at the end of the thing. Yeah, so yes. So Joyce Carol Oates, American author, first published in 1963, 58 novels, tons of other stuff, number of books, including this one, up for the Pulitzer, up for the Pulitzer Prize. It's won many other prizes. I've been trying. Vaguely tried Joyce Carol Oates a couple of times doing short stories. Nothing particularly stuck with me, but short stories maybe not the way to go. So there's a super fan on YouTube, Eric Carl Anderson, who's actually interviewed Joyce Carol Oates, and he did a video. I think it was like the top 10 places maybe to start to try Joyce Carol Oates, and one of the ones that he recommended was Blonde, which in one way it's like, oh my god, this is like a 700-page doorstop. But he said, like, actually it's and I found it was a very readable book. So I picked it up on ebook, and then it just stayed there because it's 700 pages long. And then the Netflix thing came out, and that was super controversial. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch this now. So I just let it cool until, yes, I finally did pick it up this year. Now, maybe one of the reasons I picked it up was because I actually have watched a fair number of Marilyn Monroe movies. I've seen, her little almost kind of cameo. Well, it wasn't a cameo, but a bit part in All About Eve. But then, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, A 7-Year Itch, Bus Stop, and Some Like It Hot. Back when I had access to TCM, Turner Classic Movies, which was maybe such an excellent service. So I've known her work and really enjoyed it in its kind of sly, subversive way. You can see why she sort of stands out from the kind of the bombshells, the sex pots, the sex icons of the time, as a bit maybe more substantial as of a figure. Um, which isn't to say that the other actresses weren't substantial, but they didn't seem to be able to kind of make it through. Um, so I mean, the big first thing to say about Blonde is not a biography. This is a work of fiction. Joyce Carol Oates has taken the real life person of Norma Jean Baker, who then became Marilyn Monroe, constructed by herself, by the studio, into this persona of Marilyn Monroe. Um, she's taken that as her as a I don't know if you would say an inspiration, taken it as a kind of a template to work with. I think there's something about the power of the image of Marilyn Monroe that kind of transcends the actual person. That it's been used. This is maybe one of these figures that you could say is an icon because it's sort of beyond a human being to being kind of a symbol of a very particular kind of symbol of beauty, of femininity, of kind of jabbing at that kind of that extremely sexist, misogynistic, hungry male gaze. Her doing battle with it. So yeah, not so not uh not true to the not true to the events, not true to the events. And primarily in this, it is a thruple. an abortion, rape, various, and these are only just a few of the things. Joyce Carol Oates also makes an effort of, will use initials for certain for things. There's a Z in here, which is probably a Zanuck, who is this the Z at least rapes Marilyn Monroe. There's no evidence that actually Zanuck did. There is the husbands. None of the one husband, the very earliest husband, is just given a pseudonym. Is a pseudonym, and then the really famous husbands are the ex-athlete Joe DiMaggio, which is Joe DiMaggio, and the playwright, which is Arthur Miller. And I struggled. I think maybe a key thing at the start is I struggled with that. I struggled with it being struggle with the with making stuff up, fictionalization of Norma, struggle with the fictionalization of Norma Jean. Like, why take a real life character if you're going to then screw around and not get the details as right as you can, like purposely going against that. But I think as it went along, it was like, it's so yeah, struggle with the fiction, like, why do this? Oh, can I help? Yeah, okay, come on in you come, let's go. Sorry, or I'll be out. I'm gonna be doing stuff for 7, and then I'm gonna come out and get dinner going.
I'm just gonna bother you.
Okay. All right, little thing. So why do this? Is I think is the first question you got to kind of answer for yourself. This is either going to just drive you insane. I spent I did read a lot of this with Wikipedia open. Wikipedia and various what they got wrong in Blonde, usually the Netflix thing, but also, and there's a wealth of those articles because of why did they do this? Now, I think the answers that I ended up coming for myself are A, this is telling it tells the novel tells it from a variety of viewpoints, from multiple viewpoints. One of those being interior of Norma Jean. I'll say Norma Jean because Marilyn isn't actually a real person in these books. Interior of Norma Jean. So that's just fiction. If you had followed the facts and then you'd imagined an interior of Norma Jean, that would still be a lie. That would still be, you don't know what she was thinking at any particular point. She's dead. She can't tell us what she had to say. And so that's a lie already. So in some ways, there's like, okay, we're just going to call it, a part of this is we're going to kind of alienate, make sure the reader continually is reinforced this is not true by showing stuff that like never happened. She did not have a throuple with Charlie Chaplin Jr. and Edward G. Robinson Jr. That did not happen. Cass and Eddie did not have a threesome, which resulted in a baby. That that's fiction. So it's a lie. It's a lie already. It is also that I don't think this is not trying to be just the facts. This is not just it's much more interested in the lies, in the myth, Um, in the story that 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 the time and our time tells about Marilyn Monroe, about this creature, the Blonde, um, and that title itself, Blonde, is 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 a term which it's like she wasn't actually a blonde. She was kind of a brunette. It's like it's a facade. It's dehumanizing. It's dehumanizing her. It's like she's not a person. She's just like a hairdo. Uh, it's dehumanizing her. It's something that's it's she's disposable. She could be any blonde. Uh, Disposable. Yeah, and it's like and like you see this in uh, a lot of male views of her, group views of her, um, and also people who loved her, people who like whether it's various husbands, whether it's Whitey, her makeup guy, um, all these different kind of viewpoints out, and it's all about gaze and about audience, and about uh, and in the end, kind of like history. Um, it is also very much kind of it's like I think this is a I have a suspicion that this is very much Joyce Carol Oates, a gothic fairy tale, and we're talking Grimm Bros level of kind of horror, of brutality, and and you know just deep bass, uh, male and female desire and violence. Um, just the kind of just the misogyny of the 50s, of the 40s to 60s, um, but also continuing on to now. This is as much a book about the 2000s as it is a book about the time it was written. I mean, that's the thing with all historical fiction. Uh, it's talking about now. It's not just talking about then. This is Joyce Carol Oates really highlighting the lens that we're looking upon. Why am I writing about this woman who died in 1960s now? Why is it so? And why did people get so upset about it now? Various people get upset about it now. I was really struck by Norma Jean as artist in this book. At least in this book, you really see her artistry and her commitment to capturing character, emotion, the just like kind of the technical um, dedication to film acting, particularly to film acting, even though she does also go in for New York method acting as well. So, you know, it's not dismissing her as it's not a dismissive book of her, not dismissive of her as an artist. Um, a lot of links to uh, Diary of Nijinsky. Okay, of not a lot of links to Diary of Nijinsky. A lot of links I would argue to Oates's own artistic commitment. Yeah, and this isn't to say that we also don't have, like, it's the destructive childhood, raised by, sort of raised, mental issues, vile treatment at hands of studio, reaction of audience, only wanting the dumb blonde characters, pushing her to be a caricature of herself. To, near the end of her life, basically being procured by the Dark Prince president, Kennedy, as a blow-up doll for his personal pleasures. And then in the end, kind of, and from that, widening out to the paranoia and disgust and hatred of women, and anything outside of straight male capitalist America. Just the not an attack on Norma Jean Baker or Marilyn Monroe, but an exposing of the brutal male passions of, kind of a exposing of the brutal male consumptive passions of our very patriarchal world. Now, yeah. and um, Oates's amazing writing. The coming of death at the beginning of the novel. The drive, the narrative, capturing of the many voices, Norma Jean, Marilyn Monroe, Gemini, baby, husbands, sharp shooter, the crowd, audience, press, so many voices captured and given life in this book, all swirling around this central figure of our culture. The beauty, the artist, the woman, the blonde. All right, that is one attack on this on Blonde by Joyce Carol Oates, probably saying at the end, okay, and then now that I've reviewed that, I'll probably let it simmer down a bit, and then I'll go watch Blonde, the movie, and see how much of this 700-page book they were able to get into a movie, and what does the movie say that the book doesn't say, and go from there. So that could be another video, but at the moment, just this one. Maybe movie next. Maybe movie next. ... All right, I will leave it there. Blonde. Video notes. To start off with, yeah, gonna have a good. Gonna have to work on that. Try and wrestle all that down into a shorter, more coherent review, because at the moment it's just like blah. But that's what I want to do. I just want to get it all out and then try and work at it, chisel until I've got a review. Hopefully this will work for me. I bet everyone at home will hope, because they don't want to watch this instead.